Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I'm hearing the Lakers are interested in Kelly Oubre Jr. Small forward, can be a power forward, kind of positionless to be honest with you. Played some good years with the Phoenix Suns, the Golden State Warriors, started his career with the Washington Wizards. Is now with the Charlotte Hornets. Free agent, looking for an opportunity. I think he's probably the best player left on the board between him and his teammate PJ Washington. I think those are the two best free agents available. Off top, for sure, those are the guys come to mind. So I'm happy with the Lakers if they want to go after Kelly Oubre. I don't think it's as pressing for the Lakers to fill the center position right away, especially if you can get a player like Kelly Oubre on a comfortable contract, something very minimal. You know you can play him up to. Also, because I look at Max Lewis as somebody that I don't expect to be ready this year, I think it makes a lot of sense for us to get another forward in place that we can trust, somebody who has that can really contribute and win now in a lot of different ways. And Kelly Oubre, somebody who can both start, come off the bench, probably be a six-man level player off the bench. And you look at some of the rotations he would be a part of, he would complement those rotations with his athleticism and his ability to score and just aggressiveness slashing at the rim. So I like Kelly Oubre for this team. I want us to pursue him. And if push comes to shove, or we need another center, we can trade something for a center now that we'll have a piece like that as valuable as it will be on the contract that I hope will be favorable for the Lakers. I don't think we can afford to pay him anything other than something favorable anyway. So for me, that's probably more of a desirable piece to have than, say, what we would need, which is like a Bismack Biyombo or somebody at the center position that ultimately is only going to be here strictly to help the fullness of the roster. I would rather have an ascending level talent or something very, very cheap that's going to play at a high level, and I could trade that for even better center than what it is that I'm looking at right now. So that's how I look at it. If I want to trade Kelly Oubre in about 3 months for that center, I probably get twice better center than what I'm going to get in Biyombo. So that's really what it's about. It's not about anything other than making sure that what you're bringing to you can be much more valuable than what it is that you're paying for it. And I'm pretty damn certain that's exactly what Kelly Oubre will be if the market is dried up this bad and he can't get the money he's hoping to get. Now, I don't think for 1 second the market is as dry for him as it appears to be right now, because I do believe that once certain trades are made, that will free up the cap space that would otherwise pay him the money that he's hoping to get. So, that's probably what they're looking at. But if you don't think those trades are going to happen, you might end up risking not having a team for training camp if you're Kelly Oubre. So maybe that's what his team, his representatives are looking at as well. Maybe it'd be best for him to just take whatever is on the table and give it a 1-year rental type situation with a team that can ultimately showcase him. Maybe you can win a championship and ultimately demand higher money, like say Schroeder did this offseason with the Raptors. So that's kind of how you look at that. Maybe best case scenario, he comes here, balls out, and then signs with somebody else for multiple years, or signs with us, for multiple years. However that shakes out, but I like it. I think it's the right way to go for me, because at this point I wanted Bol. He's gone, and now you're asking me to choose between Christian Wood or Kelly Oubre, and I'm gonna go with Kelly Oubre. That's kind of how that goes for me. Or a center that's probably not going to even make it on the roster. A guy like Biyombo who will probably play like 30 games for us, an average of like 5 minutes in each of those games. Coach ain't going to play him, so ain't no sense in me signing him. Can't trade him for nothing. He's just a dead asset. I don't need that. So give me Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre is going to have some really good trade value once we get him in on a price tag that makes sense for us. And like I said, I'm not sure how realistic this is, because I don't think this is the best course of action for Kelly Oubre if for some reason these trades do happen before training camp. Because once it does, you can see the money is going to start opening up. Guys are going to trade stuff back and forth, and then all of a sudden Oubre's opportunity is going to open up. PJ's opportunity is going to open up, both of them likely in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to be honest, wherever Dame's going to land, they're probably going to go there. So Kelly did play with the Phoenix Suns. I would hope he wouldn't go to Phoenix for a minimum, although that would be something that I would be considering if I were him, since I've already played there, had a good tenure there, and they need all the talent they can get. So that would also be a very, very intriguing option for Kelly if I were him. But I like him in LA. I've always thought he would be a good player to have in LA. I think he's highly marketable. in regards to his look. I think he's somebody who could probably get a modeling gig out here or something like that real easy. So I've always thought that LA was probably a place for a guy like Kelly Oubre, just like I felt like a Kuzma would love being out here for that same reason. So that's just what I think of the situation. A guy like that's already been in the league for several years. He's already made all kinds of money, all kinds of stuff like that. He probably just wants to win. And I think he would find an opportunity here to probably do that. It's probably just going to cost him a lot of money, a lot of money. And to a point, I think the fact that he's coming off injury with Charlotte paid him a pretty good 1-year deal, if I'm not mistaken, pretty hefty 1-year deal, and they didn't have him on the floor for a good portion of the time. So maybe that's kind of working against him. But I think if he hasn't had any setbacks in his athleticism with the injuries, then he's probably a really good player to bring in. Now, if he's lost some of his bounce and explosiveness and all of that, it makes him who he is. So that's one of the reasons why I would probably pass on Kelly. If it looks like he's starting to go down the hill in the other direction, which he may be. Everybody meets Father Time in a different way. I don't know, but that would ultimately cap off what I expect from Kelly. If for some reason he doesn't have that bounce that he's always had, but if he's still the same Kelly Oubre and he ain't too old, I don't even think he's probably even 30, 31 years old yet. Then you probably would be best for bringing him in right now, adding him to this forward rotation, and have a little more solidified talent in that position. Because we got guys that we like at the small forward position, but also guys that have yet to prove themselves. Some, guy like Cam Reddish, we don't know if we're actually going to get a good year out of him. It would probably be best to make sure that Kelly Oubre is in place, just to make sure, damn sure, that position is absolutely solidified. So I don't see anything wrong with that. Obviously, we have other positions that we need to solidify a little more, maybe. But I do look at the small forward position as a position that can teeter either way with the players that we have playing the role. And the fact that Rui is likely going to be a 4. So Austin can play the 3, but he's a little undersized for the 3. Little. And so it's that kind of thing. The guys that we have playing the 3 are Max Lewis, Max Christie, and as I said, Cam Reddish. 3 guys that we're just not sure at all if we're going to get good stuff out of them this year. Even though you definitely expect to. And I could argue with Max Christie that he too is a little undersized to be a 3. Probably wanted more so at the 2 in a lot of cases. So Kelly Oubre gives you that solidified 3, a guy who's proven himself to be good enough to keep up with no matter what. And if for some reason the other guys don't do anything, you got him as a guy who's proven. So that's really what it is, man. Hopefully the Lakers can find a way to finesse him into taking their minimum, and then we can really, really have a team that I think is ridiculously talented if we were able to add that piece to it. I don't know if I feel that way about Christian Wood based on some of the stuff I've seen and said about Christian Wood. It's just like, my opinion still stands. And, of course, as I said, some of the other talent on the table, probably not. But a guy like PJ Washington, he probably fits the bill even more because he can play the center and can provide some rim protection that maybe you don't expect from Kelly Oubre. Kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Because he can play the 4, he can play the 5. He's good enough to start at the 5. So I like PJ Washington just as much as anybody else in this situation in regards to helping our team fill the voids and the needs that we have. But I haven't heard the Lakers are interested in PJ. I hear they're looking at Kelly, and I think it's a good thing. So that's pretty much where my head is in regards to that. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.